Happy Friday, everybody. Today we are beginning harvest. Now let's hope that everything goes smoothly, right? So yesterday the beans across town of another farmer were running well, so we're gonna try running some beans through today. Andrew is bringing the wagon so that we can calibrate the yield monitor on the combine, because we've done so much work to the combine now that we have to redo the yield monitor, because it's not going to be accurate if we just head back out into the field and start harvesting. So we're gonna hook the 4640 up to the 672 Brent just to have on it, and that way we have more storage in case we need it. And I'm kind of interested to see, I want to pull the Unverfirth and the 672, the 1160 and the 672 side by side, just to compare them in size, because I can't really get a good gauge on the size difference, and I feel like it's going to be huge once we see them side by side.
Take that bottom off.
Well, there's a lot of firsts today. We have the Brent on the 4640. We are going to be using the 1160 for the first time today. And Rocket got groomed. You know, you just rock that bandana. He's like, is it go time? He's ready to hop up in the tractor. So the 672 looks like a pretty good match for the 4640, but we'll know more once we get it running. Now this year, we are not running one particular field that had a super steep driveway. I'm talking like fully loaded, the 82 could barely handle the 672. We weren't even filling it fully loaded going down that hill off the ridge top. But overall, I mean, I think the 46 should be able to handle the 672 just as long as we're smart about it. Same way with the 1160 on the 8235. I think that it'll handle it well. We just have to be careful in our manner of doing so. Brent could have used a bath, but I didn't have it out, or didn't pull it out because it was behind everything when I was washing the tractors down. We didn't get a chance to wash it last year because it was freezing, and never pulled it out or anything. How's it going? Hey. Right now, Dad's setting up the combine to run beans. You have to adjust the concave and fan speed, blower speed, stuff like that.
I'm gonna try that right there.
The adjuster for the fan speed, blower speed was locked up. Andrew's taking the weight and the moisture of the soybeans. We're going to input that into the monitor, and it'll tell us what it's actually running. How many calibration loads do we have to do? 2 or 3? 3 usually.
Oh, it's a good 2%. We're good.
Oh, really? Good. Okay. What is it running?
There, the average is 68.
That's pretty good. All right. Pro tip: always make sure that the door is closed before loading. So since the wagon will have lower sides than the grain carts, we're just going to load right into the easy trail for now. And then once we get going, I'll start using the 82 and the 1160. I have not run this particular wagon before, so I just gotta play with the switches until I figure out what's what. I figured out that auger display is what extends the auger. I would imagine that auger run will start it up, but need to make sure that there's nothing to lock it down, because some augers you have to lock on, or else the pressure from the grain coming up through will push it off, and then you got a mess on your hands. But it doesn't look like I got to worry about that on this one. So let's go ahead and see what happens. Man, I love pushing buttons. At this point, I'm somewhat of a professional, you know? The yield monitor was within 2% accuracy, which is good enough. So I'm gonna wait around. Typically you wanna do 3 calibrations, but the last one was close enough. So we're gonna keep running. Now, right now, the beans are at 15% moisture, which is rather high. However, we are gonna put them into the 10,000 bushel bin here. The one that does have the sidewall issues, and we are going to run some air on them. So as long as we keep checking them, they should be good. Some of the beans that I ran through last fall were at 15.5, and I didn't have an issue at all with them. Just got to make sure that you're checking them. The rough life of a farm dog. Looking at the yield monitor, it's saying 70 bushels to the acre, which is really good, but it also says 15.7% average moisture. Come on. Keep us to the right. Keep us to the right. Right.
It's more like a left right.
Good job. Now looking at the map, I could see a couple areas where it was over 77 bushels to the acre, and when we first started, I could see areas that were up to like 85, 88, which for soybeans is a really good yield. However, this year we put down a fungicide, Miravis Pro, I believe it was called. I keep forgetting. Andrew keeps telling me what it was, but essentially it's just a fungicide, and it is doing a great job. Even from like the drone view, you could tell that it was making a huge difference. It was keeping the plants alive for longer, and when they stay alive for longer, it does have the negative side effect of having more moisture. However, the yield is just buku crazy, and I think we're going to be putting more of that stuff down next year, depending on how the rest of the trial goes. They did 2 passes up front here, and then they did 1 out on this far strip, and they said that that was 17% moisture, which is why we took the soybean head off and backed the combine in the shed, because 17% for beans is just still too high. So we're just gonna have to keep playing the waiting game and get back out there whenever we feel like the time is right. That'll push us closer to harvesting corn, because the corn's drying down pretty quick too. It was like 26.5 just earlier this week, and once it's down to 25, we'll get serious about harvesting it. But they're calling for more rain here, and then we're gonna have like a week of good weather. So I don't know how things are gonna pan out in the next week. Maybe we'll be able to head out and knock the rest of my hay down. But they're saying that basically the upper portion of like Minnesota and the northern states are going to get a heck of a lot of snow. And that's the reason that the price has been jumping the last few days here. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to shut the combine down for now. However, we seem to have ironed out all the problems. There's just that the blower for the combine, for the grain, was just locked up. Sprayed it with some WD-40 and tried turning it a little bit, and it knocked it loose, and everything seems to be running good. So whenever the crop dries down enough to where we feel like we can get out there and harvest the rest of it, we'll do so. For now, shutting her down.
It's dry rotted pretty bad.
Flat tire? I don't see no flat tire. Nuh-uh. I think it has a slow leak in it, because that's the tire that I filled up. But Travis got a new pressure gauge because all of our other ones didn't work. So we'll use that to check it. It looks like it's lost pressure though, so it's probably like a slow leak. The spreader's full because we weren't running it. We were trying to dump the beans in the center as much as we could. So since it's supposed to rain, might as well shut it up. Now that is quite the difference. It's okay there, little guy. You shouldn't be ashamed. Grain carts come in all different shapes and sizes. All right, time to back the 1160 in the shed. So just learned that the way this setup is, how long it is, I cannot get it around the machine shed to park it anywhere over there. Pretty much the furthest to the left over here I can get it is like kind of in front of the combine, because I just can't make it around this corner without running into this back wall or running into the wagon that's behind me. If I had more room, maybe, but not like this I can't. I'm a little disappointed we didn't get to fill this up and use it today, but it'll just have to be another one. Since we couldn't keep harvesting today, I have a quick pop quiz for you all. When you look at soybeans, what is it that you see? Now, if you don't have an imagination, you probably just see soybeans. But if you're a nutritionist, you might see proteins, dietary fiber, iron, and a lot of other nutrients. If you're a vegan, you might see tofu. If you're a farmer, you might just see dollar signs. But where do plants get the majority of their mass? Plants do absorb a lot of nutrients through the soil, such as nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, the list goes on. However, they also absorb a lot of their mass in the form of water from the soil. Their largest source of plant matter, or mass, is not from the soil, however. It's from the air. Plants remove a lot of CO2 from the atmosphere. And what they do is they split the carbon off from the oxygen, release the oxygen back into the atmosphere, and they take the carbon to form proteins, which they use for their mass. The rain that one of you ordered is on the horizon. But that is pretty well it for this video. Now, coming through this weekend, once the rain stops, we're thinking about going and knocking down that 25 acres of hay of mine, provided that the forecast doesn't change. So be sure to stay tuned. I'll keep you guys updated on how things go from here. That's pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check out all of our other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to stay tuned as we head into harvest and things start really, really ramping up. I'll see you next time, guys.